everyone, and my name is Yula, and today we're gonna read the Magic Tree as Merlin Mission book 20, A Perfect Time for Pandas, and today we're gonna start reading at chapter 5, Bing Bing, and the end of reading at chapter 6. Now, are you ready for this one book with a lot of stories? Before you look at my YouTube, please don't hit my YouTube. Now, let's read the story right now. Here we go. And first you can read is the Magic Tree as Merlin Mission book 20, A Perfect Time for Panda story, chapter 5, Bing Bing. And he pulled Jack to the bars of a panda house and pointed out to the yard. "See, over there," she whispered. A giant panda was climbing down to the trunk of a maple tree rump first. She touched the ground and sat up and raised her hand. She was bigger than Jack had expected. Her head was the size of a basketball. "Oh, wow," said Annie. "She's amazing." "Yeah, she is," whispered Jack. The giant panda was much more amazing in real life than photos, Jack thought. She looked like a gigantic stuffed animal had come alive. Her nostrils had quivered as she had sniffed the air. Her black ears twitched. "Hello, Bing Bing," Master Lee said. Jack and Annie jumped in a surprise. Master Lee had pushed the cart and loaded into the bamboo through the back door of the cage. "Can we go out in the yard and pet Bing Bing?" said Annie. "No," said Master Lee. "We always keep our big pandas respected from our visitors. They won't hurt you, but you won't need the people intruding on their space." "Really?" said Annie. "Pandas are not pets," said the Master Lee. "They were wild animals. We want them to live as naturally as possible." "That makes sense," said Annie. She let a big sigh and she stared at Bing Bing. "It's just she looks so soft and cuddly." Jack felt sorry for Annie. He knew how badly she wanted to close to Panda. "At last, we get to actually see one," he said. "How that we have found Bing Bing. I have one more job for you," said Master Lee. He handed each of them clipboards with the paper and pencils. "I need you to record data. If she stays in a view, observe her right and down. Every sound at the moment she makes. Can you do that?" "Sure. Jack loves to collect data," said Annie, trying to be cheerful. "And I love to watch animals." "Oh, so you're a true scientist?" "Good," said Master Lee. "Now, I will get more bamboo," said Panda's keeper, dumped up the cart full of bamboo onto the floor and left Jack and Annie alone. Jack and Annie took off their gloves and observed Bing Bing drove the bars as they held up their pencils ready to record data. The giant panda didn't pay any attention to them. She sat against the maple tree and scratched her back by rubbing up and down the trunk, and then she scattered off the top of her head with the forepaw and belly with her hind paw. And Annie giggled. Jack wrote, "Scratch his black head and belly." The panda raised a paw and scratched her nose, and Jack added a nose. The panda scattered a fly to shoo it away, and Jack wrote, "Swat's fly." "Hey, I think she coming over here," Annie whispered. Bing Bing had stood up. She was staring Jack and Annie a direction, and she had started after moving on an 4 floors of a graceful rolling steps. She came right up to the bars in the cage and sat down and peered at Jack and Annie. Jack held a breath as he had felt as he and Annie were zoo animals and Panda was a curious visitor observing them. The giant panda tilted her large head and then she covered her eyes with her paws. "Oh my gosh," she whispered in delight. The panda put her paws down and looked directly like Annie. Oh, said Jack. Directly at Jack, and he stared it back to her bright, elegant eyes, holding her gaze, and he lowered his pencil and clipboard. And Jack had felt as they were falling through time. For a moment, Panda wasn't 8 years old. She was 3 million years old. She had filled with the wisdom, and she knew the things he could never understand. He didn't know what to write. Words couldn't possibly capture the wonder of her. I'm black. How are you doing? Said the masterly. And Jacob snapped out of a dreamlike growth and turned into the panda keeper. Fine, he said. How unusual that Bing being so close to you, said Masterly, walking over to them. Did you record her behavior? Suddenly, Jack and Annie have handed them pencils and skipboards, and Annie had paper as blank, and only few words were written on Jack's. Ah, said Masterly with a smile. Well, if you ever come back, you can observe more. Jack nodded, but he knew he'd observed a lot, only it was more with his heart and his head. You have to go now, said Masterly. I saw your grandmother handed to the bus with everyone else. I'm surprised she didn't come for you. She was a little forgetful sometimes, said Annie. She turned back to Panda, who was still staring at them. Bye, Bing Bing, bye, Bing Bing, Jack murmured and looked into Panda's eyes once again. He hated to leave. Their time together had been too short. Hurry, said Masterly. You don't want to keep the others waiting. And Masterly have ushered to them out at the back door at the cage of a long path, and he had stopped to the goldish pond. Follow the stone path to the entrance gate. Don't forget to leave your volunteer clothes one of the beans here. Thank you, Masterly, said Jack. Goodbye, said Masterly, and he had turned to hand it back to Bing Bing's house. I have an admit. She's really, really great, said Jack. And ready to get back out to a mission now? Yes, said Annie, but first let's follow the path to the other way. Maybe we can quick peek for some of the pandas. Okay, but really quick peek, said Jack. We have to solve that riddle. And Jack and Annie stared down to the path that led away from the main entrance. They went around to the corner and stopped. Oh, wow, they said together, and then they burst into the laughter. The dozen of pandas or cubs are playing in the huge fenced area. The sign said Panda Kindergarten. The cubs were size of a chubby human or porters, and they're signed to the rubber of the tires and the wooden soaring sets. And the others are climbing the rocks into the sliding down to the slide. Some are rolling in the grass, and while the others rest their tumbled, and some of the summer suits. Oh, I love them, said Annie. They all look like a Rolly and Polly. I love them so much, don't you? Yeah, I do. They're really cute, said Jack, laughing. Look at those guys on the... Hey, what are you two still doing here? Someone said. And Jack and Annie have turned in surprise. Dr. Link was hurrying to the path toward them. Everyone has left. Your grandmother and the rest of the group must have forgotten all about you. How responsible. Go. Try to catch them. Grandma! Cried Annie. She and Jack have took off running, laughing. They to the front of an entrance. They yanked to the volunteer clothes and shoes and threw them to the beam at the gate. And they took dash across the bridge. And the tour bus was racing to the highway as Jack and Annie have charged to the parking lot. Bye, Grandma, yelling and waving. And Jack laughed. Come on, he said. Dad, let's grab our bikes and go before Sylvia gets in trouble. Jack and Annie are both laughing as they have climbed on their mountain and bikes and started back toward the Woolong town. And the sun had came out to the behind the clouds and only made the wet green fields into the highway sparkle. Not only was it a beautiful ride, Jack thought, but the pedaling back to the town was a lot easier than pedaling uphill to the Panda Center. For a little while, he was able to cross without a pedaling at all. I hate to leave the pandas, Annie shouted. Me too, Jack yelled back. I love being and the cubs into the newborn baby, but sooner we can get back to the Woolling town sooner. We can save Penny. What time do you think it is? I saw the clock near the center entrance, said Annie. It says 2:15. That still gives us a lot of time. Good, said Jack. Where will we look for that healthy drove around food? Said Annie. I guess we need to visit more restaurants, yelled Jack. Yes, said Annie. I'm starving. Me too, said Jack. Bring on the green bean jelly and fried stinky tofu. Annie laughed. She yelled something back, but Jack didn't hear her. What did you say? He called back before Annie could answer. A deep rumbling sound filling the air, and the roadway have trembled and buckled, and everything around them, bushes, rocks, and trees, began shaking and moving. Oh, I think the dragon wakes, because they say the Woolong country is the dragon country. So it's very scary. And tomorrow we're going to start reading in chapter 6, The Dragon Waits, and the end of reading in chapter 7. We're going to have a new week and a new stories. Now, did it have fun? You left English country. We come back with some new week and a new stories, or this book and a new stories because of a new chapter. Now, please thumbs up my YouTube if you didn't thumbs up my YouTube before you look at my YouTube. Now, bye-bye, everybody, and have a nice day. Bye!